Hey guys, welcome to my third video. I know I said that it was going to be live this week, but I was unable to get it to work. I guess with YouTube, the way that it works is, I don't know if this is how it works or just is the way that it worked today. When I tried to do live, it said it would happen in 24 hours. And so, but I know I had said that I would come on Tuesdays, and so I wanted to be honoring to that. So here we are. So I'm gonna record this one, and then I'm gonna look into that over the week, and if I have to do it a day before, then set it up the day before to have it by next Tuesday be live, because I've already done like 6 videos, maybe 8 videos, trying to just be okay with what I'm saying. And I know when I do that, I do miss part of the message because I get overly critical, and then I repeat some things, and then I'm thinking I repeated some things that I didn't, and I actually missed some things that happened the first week. So I told myself I'm going to record this and I'm not going to delete it. So here we go. I'm going to pretend that we're live. So yeah. I know I had come on, when I came on last week, I said that I was going to, that I felt like these videos were just about talking about what God's been doing, how he speaks to me, the different testimonies he's done in my life, and then just having people come on and share and stuff. And so, so when I was trying to figure out what to put on this week, I was like, Holy Spirit, I don't know, what should we talk about? Because I have had a really tough week. It has just been a really hard week for me physically. For those of you that know that I deal with an autoimmune disorder, with 2 of them, it's a lot, and so my body has just been in a place of pain and weariness and being tired, and yeah, it's just been really tough. It's been a tough week, and so like over the weekend was really hard. I did get to do some cool stuff with my friends. We have a girls group, and we got together and we painted, and that was a lot of fun because not everybody knew each other. I knew all the girls except for one, and that's whose name I actually drew out of a hat, and then everybody else had somebody else, and they didn't know the other person really well. And so it was kind of cool because we actually did like a prophetic painting for each other, and we're able to just paint something for that person, like whatever. We just felt like whatever God's saying to you, just paint for that person, and it spoke to each individual one. And it was really cool because yeah, like when people were painting, one of like some of the girls were like, oh, I really like that one, I want that one, and it ended up being that that was the one that was for them, and so obviously it was speaking to them already before they even got it. And so that was really cool. That was fun. Yeah, and sorry, I just need to take a breath. I get tired really fast lately. And so yeah, so what God for me this week has been speaking about is his love. And it's funny because I've spoken about this at other churches, and I've spoken about this at other places, and on Sunday I'm actually going to speak on love to some teenagers and some youth, and I'm really excited about it. Nervous but excited. And so it's just interesting because I think every time he takes me back to love, I find something new with him. And so it's been crazy. Just even the last couple of days, all of the songs that have been on are like all love songs that I keep hearing. And it's like love songs, and then like, I don't know for you guys how you listen to your music, but a lot of the music, like I'll be singing out to the Lord, or I'll be singing, and then like he'll stop me and he'll start singing those verses to me. And so he's been kind of doing that over the last couple of days, which has been really sweet and kind. And so yeah, but what I was going to talk to the teens about, I figured I could talk to you guys about too. So I know, like, it's funny because in 1 Corinthians 13, the Lord took me a few years back. He had taken me here to this Bible passage, and he had said, he had me highlight but also write Stephanie in it, because at that point I didn't know a lot about God's love. I had thought of God as being this condemning, harsh, like judging God, you know, like I do wrong, he judges me, he does forgive me, you know, because Jesus did die on the cross, you know, but that I have to do things to earn that forgiveness, and I have to be a certain way, and I have to make sure I do things right. And so he took me here to 1 Corinthians 13, and it says, love is patient. Or so the way he said it to me was, Stephanie, my love for you is patient. My love for you is kind. My love for you does not envy. It is not boastful. It's not arrogant. My love for you is not rude. It's not self-seeking. It's not irritable. And it does not keep a record of wrongs. Whew. I think the does not keep a record of wrongs always for me like hits in a place, because I am really good at being the person that I can forgive other people, and I can totally let things go, but to allow God to come into that place and not feel shame or think places where I feel like I've disappointed or I've sinned, like to not have him keep a record of that wrong, like that's already washed away. Like I know we say it easily, like, you know, we say that because Jesus died on the cross that all our sins are washed away, but to really believe it, for me, it took a long time. And even now I still kind of struggle with it, because there's been times when I'm like praying and I'm like, forgive me, Father, for this, and he's like, what are you talking about? I've already forgiven you for that. Like, why are you bringing up old stuff? And I'm like, because I haven't forgiven me. And so yeah, and it bears all things, it believes all things, it hopes all things, it endures all things. Love never ends. And so his love never ends. But then it was also like, it wasn't just like God saying this for me from him, but it was like the little girl Stephanie inside of me. Like, to that little girl, I needed to tell her, I don't keep records of the wrongs, that I bear all things, I believe all things, I love you. And that was really tough, going through that process. And so yeah, so God's just been reminding me a lot of that, and in those areas of where I have, even now, I still struggle in loving myself in certain areas. You know, with being sick, it's really hard to feel like I'm not failing, and to feel like that I'm not a burden, you know, to people around me, my friends and my family, those that are helping me out. Yeah, but to know that, like, that it's okay. That it's okay. That we don't always have to be strong. We don't always have to carry ourselves. We don't always have to carry everyone else. God's been really big about rest for me, and talking about not just rest like I need to sleep, which I do because I haven't been getting a lot of it, but resting in the fact that knowing that God's gonna walk me through this, that like I'm not alone, and that I'm not failing, that I haven't missed it, that this isn't my forever, you know. I trust God, and I trust that he's in this process with me. But it's hard on the everyday struggle, the everyday parts, that I don't get to that I don't share with everybody. And sometimes I find myself not loving Stephanie because I get upset that I can't do everything that I want to do. But you know, I know God's in everything, and that in those moments when I feel that way, he usually reminds me of how loved I am. And so, yeah, this wasn't the way I was planning on going, or thought it was gonna go. Go figure. Yeah, like I said, it was a really tough week. This week it was even being able to move hurt. Yeah. And I kept trying to think that I did something wrong. And so I kept trying to figure out what I did wrong so I could fix it when there's really nothing I could do to fix it. And so, yeah, that resting part in knowing that I don't have control of the situation, that I don't have control of what's actually going on in my body, and I'm doing everything I possibly can, but there's still stuff going on, that's okay, that it doesn't mean I have to punish myself. It doesn't mean I have to be angry with me. Yeah. You know, it's really crazy because I do have an awesome support system. My husband is amazing. He is very patient in my process. And he gets to see, you know, the parts that I don't show everybody in the world. And even then, like, I don't, I still hide. And cry on my own. But he sees the most, and he's very supportive and very loving, and even then I have a really hard time asking for help. And it's funny because God never said we had to do this alone. Like, he didn't even think Adam could do it alone. Like, he brought Eve in to be a helpmate. And so we weren't intended to do this life alone, to walk these paths alone. We were intended to do it with community, with people, with God. And so yeah, so this week it has been a struggle, and it hasn't seemed to really let up yet. And I think I just realized that there's still parts of me that think I can fix it, but I can't. So I don't know what to do next. So yeah, it's just being patient, walking each day. Every morning I thank the Lord for another day, for giving me another opportunity. And don't get me wrong, there are some days that I'm like, God, why am I still here? Because it's so painful. But I know he has a plan and a purpose for each one of us, for every single one of us. And some days are easier than others. But on those hard days, remember, you're not alone. You don't have to be alone. God has community for you. He has people who love you, who want to be there for you, to be his hands and feet. That God's love is patient, and it's kind. That he doesn't see anything wrong with you. Even if inside you don't see that, he doesn't see anything wrong with you. I told you I'm a work in progress. Yeah, he doesn't see anything wrong. He sees you as perfect. It was funny because yesterday we were listening to some songs because I had to do the worship list for the kiddos on Sunday. I made it up, and I felt like the Lord had told me 3 songs. He had given me 3 songs one night. I think it was Saturday night. He gave me 3 different songs, and he said, I want you to play Beautiful Things, and then I want you to do A Good Good Father and Reckless Love. There's one other one. But those were the three that were really highlighted. And so, with the Beautiful Thing song, no, it's You're Beautiful. You're Beautiful. Yeah. So Beautiful Things, You're Beautiful, and then the other two, Reckless Love and Good Good Father. And so you make beautiful things out of us. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever heard that song. It's by Gungor, but it's like, you make beautiful things. You make beautiful things out of dust. And yeah, and so this week, like, as I was listening to the songs to prepare it, get them ready, God was just reminding me, like, I've made you beautiful, Stephanie. I've made you whole. You may not be able to see it, but you're whole. You're not missing or lacking anything. You're my chosen daughter. And so, yeah. And then, the other song is, You're a Good Good Father. And so I was listening to that, and I was telling my husband how I remember at the first time I'd ever heard that song, I was at CFTN, and Edward used to sing, would lead worship on Wednesday nights, and it was a Wednesday night, and I had gone to sing like Mama Paula for some health coaching stuff, and I remember listening to the song, walking in when it's You're a Good Good Father, that's who you are. And then the part where it says you're perfect in all your ways, you're perfect in all your ways, I could hear the Lord at that moment sing it to me, like, Stephanie, you're perfect in all your ways, like you're perfect in all your ways. And so I don't know if music's ever touched you that way, but it did. And so last night when I was singing it, or when I was listening to it and telling my husband the story and stuff, I kind of got teary-eyed because God was like, yeah, you're still perfect, Stephanie. In all your ways, like, the way I see you is still perfect, and the more you seek me out, the more perfected you get, but like, you're still perfect. And like, he doesn't see everything, he doesn't, yeah. And so, yeah. And then the reckless love, he leaves the 99 for just the one. So he leaves each and every, those that are hurting, he leaves everyone just for you, like, just for me, just to be there to comfort me. And so, yeah, anyhow, music is something that God speaks through for me. And so, he does it in other ways too. It's not just Christian songs. It could be secular songs, like, Bruno Mars. What is Bruno Mars' song about being beautiful? I can't think of the name of it, but like, she's so beautiful, and I tell her every day. I can't remember all the words, but there's so many, like, and there's so many songs out there. And so, yeah, this week, as you go listening to your music, see if the Lord's speaking and sending a message to that. He sends messages in so many things. Like, music is one way he does for me. He does it in people speaking. Sometimes it's in words. He's been talking a lot about rest. That's been coming up a lot. Lingering has been coming up, like, I think I've seen it like 10 different times, the word lingering. And a lot of it has been like about just lingering in his presence, just staying with him in his presence, like not getting on to the next thing, but sitting and just being there and being present in that moment. So yeah, I honestly feel like this video, I just want to delete it. I'm not really sure if it makes any sense. With the autoimmune stuff, I do get brain fog, and I know I can jump from one thing to another, so I'm not sure. But thanks guys for tuning in this week. Hopefully next week will be a little bit lifting up more. I mean, there is lifting up, but I feel like the Lord really did come in and meet me to speak to you guys tonight. And so, yeah, we will do this next Tuesday. and it will be, I don't know how. I don't know what it will look like, obviously, because I don't know what these are supposed to look like just yet. I'm trying, like I said, not to have an agenda and just do what I feel I just do whatever I feel like I'm being led to share. And so those were some things that I just shared. So, oh, by the way, so I don't know why, like, I just wanted to share this. Like, if God is asking you to do something, I say do it. These videos are uncomfortable. They are hard for me. I struggle once they're out there. I'm nervous, and it causes so much nervousness and fear, but I'm trying to step over that fear and not allow it to stop me from things that God is asking me to do. And so if God is asking you to do something, push past the fear. It will be worth it, I promise. This week I did get a report, like a little testimony from a friend that watched the video. I actually had two friends that watched the video that told me that one of them, and it's funny because it was, I felt like the last week was two separate messages, and because I felt like I was done, but then I just kept going. And so it's funny because both people had something from each of the messages. One person had from the first part of the video and the other one from the second part of the video, but they both needed to hear what was being said. So, like I said, even if these videos are just for me, that's fine, but it's nice to know that God is using them to speak to somebody, because like he tells me, I'm going to tell you, your voice matters. What you have to say matters. You don't ever know who you're impacting and why God asks you to do what he's asking you to do, and what impact it will be. But even if it just changes one person, even if that message last week was just for one, that one person's life will change, because they will look at something different, and then it will cause them to it'll be like a ripple effect. So don't ever doubt what God is asking you to do or say. As much as I want to delete this video, I'm not going to, because maybe there's something on here for one of you. And if there's not, it's okay. I needed to say it. So, yeah, I will be back on next week. And next week it should be live. I'm going to work on that this week, actually look into it more. I'm really sorry about that, guys, but I'm still learning. YouTube is different than Facebook was, and so yeah. But I hope you all have a good night, a good rest of the week. I just pray that God comes and encounters each of you right where you're at, and that you will feel the presence of the Lord this week, and that you will have a message to share with someone else, no matter what that message is. So, love you guys. Talk to you later. Bye.